Hello guys, and welcome here to the Jello Cup Series. This is race number 25, the second last race of the regular season here today from the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. It is also the third of 6 road courses on our schedule. If you missed the truck race yesterday, another finish under caution. I bet these guys are very excited for the playoffs to come in just a little while here. Of course, Dick Clark, he will start from the pole today, and to his outside will be Nathan Faden. Let's take a look at the knockout qualifying results, which are currently on your screen. Keith Stevens, Giorgio Scoot, Rusty Potts, Francis Hawes, Austin Shaw, Max Anderson, Jody Shane Davis all made the race, and Jody Shane Davis, keep this in mind, she's won her last 2 starts. Could she make it 3 starts in a row with a win? That's one thing we're going to have to watch. Another thing we're going to have to watch is the playoff picture. Let's take a look now. Well, actually, before we do, let's just look at it. Let's take a look at your playoff picture. Of course, you notice 2 guys in yellow. That could change if we have, however, if we have a repeat winner today, there are going to be guys that are winless that are going to make the playoffs. So that'll be good news, much good news for those guys. Of course, Dustin Davis enters with a 68-point lead into this race. He needs to gain 20 points on Zach Fitzwater in order to lock him out of the championship, or the regular season championship. If he leaves here 88 points ahead of second, he will be your regular season champion, and he will lock himself into the playoffs regardless of what happens at Indianapolis. He had a rough go of it at Nashville, though. We'll see what happens. On the flip side, the number 78 of Jordan Anderson. Keep in mind, he won a race earlier this year, made his way into the top 33. He needs to do a lot of work today in that 78 because he is 99 points back of 30th. And keep in mind, if you win, you have to be in the top 30 to be eligible for the playoffs. If he does not get into the top 30, if he does not get within 88 points entering Indy, because obviously he's not getting into the top 30 this race, but if he does not get within 88 points after this race, that win is all for nothing for Jordan Anderson, and he will lock himself out of the playoffs. Of course, I mentioned this, 18 playoff points are at stake, 6 in this race, 12 in the race at Indy. Who will claim 6 of those today? Will we have another first-time winner? Or will one of the winless drivers, or will 5 of the winless drivers be battling for 1 spot at Indy? We'll find out in a moment. Let's roll the intro, and we'll be back with your starting lineup here in just a moment. You are watching the Gaming Collaboration Network, home of the Jello Cup Series.
Oh man, through turns 3 and 4, we're going to have ourselves another photo finish, and I believe this time the 43 Tim Randolph will win at Daytona.
The Lift National Series. Here we go. They make their way through turn 3 and 4. The pace car will peel off. And for the first time ever, the Lift National Series is green here at Daytona. The Hitachi Truck Series. And here we go. The pace truck is gonna peel off. And for the first time ever in GCN history, we have a truck series, and we are underway under the lights here at Daytona in Tuesday night heat. Your GCN presentation starts right now. Here we go. We're going to take a look at the starting lap. That'll be on the left-hand side of your screen. Again, we mention it, the second to last race before the playoffs. And here's the thing, again, there are two guys who already won a race this season on the front row. 3 in the top 4, of course. Last season's winner, Scott Upton, also starting up front. He's got 2 wins this season. So this makes things very interesting because, of course, win and you're in. I don't think those guys with 5 playoff points will have to worry, assuming that Jordan Anderson finishes more than 88 points back of 30th at the end of this race. So chances are these guys don't have to worry. Pace car is off. Will we see a race similar to the trucks yesterday? We'll find out. The green flag is out. We're underway. Canadian Tire. The 3 gets an incredible launch at the start, but will the 88 fight back on the inside? We'll see as we head off to turn 2. It looks like the 3's got the advantage. Keep in mind the trucks ran here yesterday. A lot of these guys ran in that truck race. As Nathan Faden goes to the lead. And keep in mind, Nathan Faden is one of those guys with 5 playoff points. He should be solid. Normally we say 5 playoff points won't do it, but this has been a strange season in which Zach Fitzwater has taken 6 wins in the regular season, which has really shaken things up. See Max Anderson go to second. Keep in mind, he's locked out of the playoffs, but he could play spoiler in that Team Penske Ford. Of course, his teammate Dylan Young battling to stay in that top 30. If he can do so, he'll be in the playoffs. If not, he likely won't. As Nathan Faden will lead the opening lap. And again, one thing we're going to monitor most of the race, of course, where's that 5 and where's that 78? The 5 is crawled up to 20th. Or has fallen to 20th maybe. Where's the 4? Keep in mind, Zach Fitzwater, if Dustin Davis has a bad day, Zach Fitzwater can capitalize on this. And of course, he's already won 1 of the 3 road courses we've run this year. Oh, they're door to door. We thought we had a battle for the lead. Instead, it might be a battle for second. You see Dick Clark all over the bumper of that 12. So, where do we go from here? That's the big question. Of course, we know we'll be going to Indy next race to decide who will be the 16 drivers that have made the playoffs. Then we'll go to Rockingham. That'll open up the playoffs. But keep in mind, of course, going back to Indy, that will be a double points race. So you win. I mean, pretty much it is win you're in. But for those guys at Indy, it's going to be win and you can definitely get in. Of course, we'll go to Rockingham first, or after Indy to open up the playoffs. Then we'll go to Circuit of the Americas, and then we go to Bristol to round out the round of 16. And Coda could be very interesting. Of course, it has provided some decent racing in the past. The bumper goes to the 3. And maybe someone ought to tell Max Anderson, hey, you're not racing for anything, bud. That 3 is. But Max Anderson, he wants to make his presence known. And Zach Fitzwater, and again, we appreciate his help through part of this campaign. Of course, it was just the last second thing I didn't want to be rude and ask him last second to record. So we'll have him back, though. Hopefully for Coda, we'll have him with us. And of course, hopefully soon we'll also have Austin Shaw once the case numbers go down. Hopefully we'll have him in the booth with us. But of course, one thing that Zach Fitzwater noted is that 12, Max Anderson, in other NR series, not ours, but in other series, he has been pretty good on road courses. He had been on a hot streak on him, from my understanding. So of course, him being second really is no surprise. As you see the battle for second, and it won't happen. So Max Anderson manages to throttle away for now. And Diego Yepes now coming into the picture, and keep in mind, he's going to have his first playoff berth since his championship run back in season number 3. So that's going to be very exciting for that 00 team. The reunion season for them, and they'll be in the playoffs. One past champion who's going to have to battle his way in at Indy. There he is. He wants to defend his title. He's going to need something to go right in Indy or here. Alexander Rowe, and it's just been a tough season for him. Of course, he started out 2021 very hot, but it just dissipated after that in a tough break this season. Alexander Rowe's not had the year he had hoped for, and of course, him racing in on points, not very likely, so a win might be needed. We'll see if he plays any strange strategies to make a win happen. Our other former champ in the field, Patrick Smith, and of course he will be in the playoffs. He has 8 playoff points at his dispense, so he'll have another shot at a championship. And of course last year he ran pretty well in the playoffs. He had a shot. It looked like he might have, had he made the championship more, maybe he could have made a run at this championship, but unfortunately it just wasn't meant to be. And it's such a shame. As you see a cycle of stops happening, the 3 leads the charge. The 12 of Max Anderson goes to the race lead. And we got a battle for second on track. That's the 00 of Diego Yepes battling with Dick Clark. And this is an interesting development. Keep in mind, they're going to have to settle this very quickly, because they might be pitting this time. And you see there, Diego Yepes lets the 88 in. He says, fine, I'll let you have it. I'll battle you on the pit lane for it instead. See the 27 pulled a strange move, stayed out. but they can't stay out too long on this track. See the 3 and the 43 very, very close in proximity. We'll see how they cycle around. Keep in mind, keep an eye on Scott Upton. He has won here at Canadian Tire before. As you see the leaders zip out, there's the 00, Diego Yepes. There's the 12 of Max Anderson, and he will have the lead. How's about that? Max Anderson will take over the race lead, and he has a chance to play spoiler. Oh, he ran it a little wide. Does that hurt him? The 3's closing. Keep in mind, the 12, you know, those tires are still a little cold, so you gotta imagine the 3 with warmer tires, he might have a shot here. He's just got to force Max Anderson into a mistake. But Max Anderson hangs on to the lead for the time being. That 43 is closing too. Look at this. The 3 runs wide. That allows the 43 to make a move. Here comes Scott Upton. And it looks like he's going to get that second position away from the 3 of Nathan Faden. Earlier this season, we saw Zach Fitzwater win his second race at Road America. He's the only winner over at that track. Could Scott Upton go for 2 in a row here at Canadian Tire? That's going to be interesting to see. Of course, it would be his 3rd win of the season. And a big win as we close in on the Jello Cup Series playoffs. But Max Anderson, keep this in mind. Again, I have stated this earlier. He can win this race, but it won't benefit him in any way with regards to the playoffs. What it can do for Max Anderson, however, is of course put him one step closer to putting that 12 team in the top 33 for next season. Again, or for the first 5 races, obviously, but the rules in this series, for those who may be just tuning in, of course, the Jello Cup Series has a bigger roster, which requires knockout qualifying. And because of the knockout qualifying, of course, we have we have a policy to determine the top 33 for the first 5 races, rather than just going off of owner points from last season. I just don't think that's fair, seeing that drivers sign up and they're not under contract. So what we do is we do it on 3 tiers for the charters for the first 5 races. Of course, tier 1 is all the playoff teams from last season. Tier 2 is drivers who missed, or teams that missed the playoffs, but the car had 2+ wins on the campaign the previous season. As you see, the 12 run it wide, but so does the 43. And of course, right now, Dustin Davis is the only driver that we know will be locked in with the 2+, or in Tier 2 for next season. So the 47 JTG Doherty car will be locked into the 500 for next season. As you see Max Anderson pulling away. Again, let's check in on the points leader. And he's in 22nd, I believe, battling for 21st. And that he is with Joshua Saculli. And Joshua Saculli, keep this in mind, he's one of the guys battling to get in on points. And with Max Anderson leading, that is good news for that 32 team. But bad that he just got passed by the points leader. Jordan Anderson is dead ahead. He's in 20th. It's not looking good for him right now. Again, if he's 88 or more back, there's nothing he can do to make the playoffs. And even still, if he's 88, if he's like over 80 points back, he's going to need a win. I mean, he needs to close it to at least 70, and this is just not going to do it. Oh, wreck ahead, the 65 of Xavier Rain. And this likely will bring out a caution. Oh, the 18, Casey Naneko, is sent into the dirt as well. There goes the 03 as well. The 42, the 9, it's a big wreck here. And this should bring out a caution. And all that hard work that Max Anderson did just went out the door. And Xavier Rain, a good day he was having, he's going to have to win an Indy to put that 65 team in the playoffs. Let's go see what happened. Either the 65 didn't think he was clear, or the 8 was just upset about something, but the 65 sent through the dirt into the wall. It does some heavy damage to the left side of that car. But let's fast forward this. You see, he's kind of stuck in the sand. I don't know what he's doing. This is just weird. And then Casey Naneko up ahead, he gets sent into the dirt. Oh, he's slowing down, thinking that the 65 is going to merge, and I don't think the 7 anticipated that. Brandon Harris just sends the 18 full send. And behind them, what happened to Charles Sanford? Well, it looks like same thing here. He checked up, tried to cut down, and didn't realize Patrick Smith was there. Then Patrick Smith jumps down, doesn't realize the 9's there. It's just a mess here in one of the final corners. That's a tough break for all these guys involved. Let's see how this shakes everything up. We'll take you back to the green here in just a moment. It looks like we're going to get an unofficial attempt at a green-white checkered. Of course, we don't have GCN overtime at our dispense, and a heartbreak for Max Anderson. He had to pit under the caution. It essentially took him out of the race. Familiar face out in front. I mentioned earlier, Scott Upton won here before. Could he go for 2 in a row? He's going to have to hold off Nathan Faden in second. Carter Joey will be third. I believe that's Keith Stevens. No, wait. Are there guys a lap down? No, I don't think so. It's going to be Scott Upton, Nathan Faden, Carter Joey, Keith Stevens, Chase Miller. The green flag is out. We're back underway. 2 laps of racing to go. And here we go, bumper to bumper, the 43 and the 3. Something, if you grew up back in the 90s, in the 80s, maybe even the 70s, you've seen a lot of this. 2 historic teams battling side by side, or not side by side, but bumper to bumper for the win. And you see Carter Joey there, he's going to keep third. Keep an eye on him as he looks for win number 3 of the season. Oh, the 3 runs it wide. And this could be the break the 14 needed. Here comes the 12 is there as well. Don't rule out the 12 out of getting a good result. Oh, the 3 gets tagged. The 3 and the 37, they collide. They hit the wall. Is the caution out? Yes, it is. The white flag is out too. That's 1 lap of racing to go, presented by Mitchell's Memes. And an issue for the 37 and the 3. That will end the race. And a tough break for Nathan Faden, who was in the battle all race long. Not what he wanted. Where is the 5? That's the real question. Oh, he had to pit. This is going to hurt the 5, and it's not going to help the 4 either. The 4 has damage. Zach Fitzwater was involved in a wreck. Does this take him out of the championship, the regular season championship battle? Because he's definitely going to lose points to Dustin Davis. The 78 was also involved in a wreck. That will take him out of the playoffs. Heartbreak for Jordan Anderson. The win means nothing. And that means, with Scott Upton leading, unless something happens, we're going to have at least 1 non-winner besides Dustin Davis likely in the playoffs. Let's go get a replay. Let's see what happened. Oh boy. Just a tight battle between Keith Stevens and Nathan Faden. Might be some anger between these two after the race. It looks like they just locked bumpers there, and unfortunately going to the tire barrier and kills both of their days. Something else happened to the 4. We don't exactly know what. But it's unfortunate either way. It will hurt. It'll severely hurt Zach Fitzwater's chances at the regular season title. Let's go show you the finish. Here we go. It's going to be Scott Upton through the final corners. How's about this? Zach Fitzwater, he went back-to-back at Road America earlier this season, got his 2nd win on the road course. Scott Upton knows a thing or two about Canadian Tire as much as Fitzwater knows about Road America. As Scott Upton, he's going to win at Canadian Tire. Win number 3 of the season for him. A much needed win number 3. And looking at this sheet, this should put him ahead of Dustin Davis now. So Scott Upton, for the time being, could be the number 2 seed in the playoffs. That's assuming that Dustin Davis has locked up the regular season title. And of course, we won't know that until you guys see the point standings. Keep in mind, I remind you, if he is 88 points ahead of second place in the points, he is your regular season champion, and he will not have to worry entering Indy. But if he's in the 80s, if he's in the 70s, I want to say he's safe entering Indy. We'll see what happens. Let's show your results and standings, and we'll be back next Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, for the regular season, or not Super Bowl Sunday, sorry. Oh my goodness. We'll see you next Sunday regardless for the regular season finale at Indy. Until then, goodbye everyone.